You wake up in the middle of the night because somebody is growling downstairs. Not speaking, not crying, growling. Low. Animalistic. Wet. At first, you think maybe it's a dog outside, but then you realise the sound is coming from inside the house. You step into the hallway, cold wooden floor beneath your feet, darkness filling every corner of the home. And somewhere downstairs, you hear furniture shaking violently. Then suddenly, a woman starts screaming. Not normal screaming. The kind that sounds like her throat is tearing apart while she does it. Your heart starts pounding because you recognize the voice immediately. It's your daughter. You rush downstairs and find her kneeling on the floor in the kitchen, body twisted unnaturally, hair hanging over her face, hands clawed tightly against the tiles. And when she slowly looks up at you, her eyes look completely black. Then, in a voice that doesn't sound human anymore, she says, "They won't leave me." This is the real story behind the Exorcism of Emily Rose. Tonight, we are going to talk about ANNELIESE MICHEL. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. Bavaria, Germany, 1950s. Quiet villages. Catholic churches towering above narrow streets. Cold winters. Stone buildings. Church bells echoing across small towns. Religion there didn't just feel cultural. It felt woven into everyday life itself. People prayed before meals. Crosses hung above beds. Sin and guilt weren't abstract concepts. They felt real, heavy, almost physical. ANNELIESE MICHEL was born on September 21st, 1952. And by almost every account, she seemed gentle, quiet, intelligent, deeply religious. The kind of girl people described as sweet. Nothing about her early life hinted at horror. No violence. No dark obsession. No disturbing behaviour. Just an ordinary young woman growing up in a strict Catholic family. In 1968, when ANNELIESE was 16, something strange happened for the first time. One night, she suddenly woke up unable to move, pressure crushing against her chest, like something heavy was pinning her into the mattress. She later described feeling trapped inside her own body, completely awake, completely terrified. That alone already sounds horrifying. Imagine staring into your dark bedroom, unable to scream, unable to move, while feeling something invisible pressing down on you. The episodes continued. Again and again, especially at night. In August 1969, another attack happened. This time severe enough that her mother contacted doctors immediately. Neurologists examined her. They performed EEG scans searching for abnormalities in her brain. But every result came back normal. No tumours. No brain damage. Nothing clearly explaining what was happening. I think uncertainty is one of the scariest parts of stories like this, because people can survive bad news more easily than unexplained news. At least bad news gives you something solid to fight. From 1968 to 1972, the episodes continued happening repeatedly. Doctors suspected seizure disorders, possibly epilepsy. They prescribed anticonvulsants, Dilantin. Medical explanations. medical language, medical routines. But nothing seemed to stop the attacks fully. And meanwhile, something inside Anneliese's world slowly started changing emotionally too. By 1973, the atmosphere inside the Michel household reportedly became frightening, especially at night. Knocking sounds echoing through rooms after midnight, heavy footsteps, scratching noises. And according to the family, other people heard them too, not just Anneliese. Her siblings heard them. Her parents heard them. Then came the voices. Voices telling her she was damned, that she would burn in hell forever. To be fair, religious fear hits differently when someone already grows up deeply believing in heaven and hell. Because for Anneliese, these weren't metaphorical ideas. They were real possibilities. Her mother later described walking into rooms and finding Anneliese staring silently at religious statues for long periods. Completely motionless. Tense expression. Eyes dark and empty. Anneliese started describing horrifying visions. Demonic faces. Burning creatures. Distorted human figures watching her from corners of rooms. She claimed demons were living inside her body. And the family reported something else strange too. The smell. Burning feces. Rotting odor. Appearing suddenly inside rooms without explanation. No source ever found. Honestly, smell is such an underrated part of horror. Because unlike shadows or sounds, you can't easily rationalize a smell away. It feels immediate, physical, real. As things worsened, the family turned increasingly toward religion for answers. They contacted Father Alt, a priest close to the family. At the same time, psychiatrists diagnosed possible neurological disorders and prescribed stronger medication. Tegretol. But the medication didn't stop the behavior. This is where the story becomes deeply tragic, no matter what you believe. Because everyone involved thought they were helping her. Doctors, parents, priests. Nobody woke up trying to destroy Anneliese. But slowly, the gap between science and faith started swallowing her whole. That same year, Anneliese fell into severe depression and attempted suicide. Afterward, her behavior became increasingly disturbing. She tore off her clothes, ate spiders from walls, drank her own urine from the floor, barked like a dog for hours at a time, destroyed crucifixes, smashed religious pictures. That contrast feels terrifying, because she had once been deeply devoted to religion. Now she reacted violently against anything sacred. That reversal became one of the biggest reasons people around her believed something supernatural was happening. Then there were the stories about strength. Her family claimed Anneliese displayed impossible physical power, throwing siblings across rooms, crushing apples barehanded until they exploded apart, even while becoming physically thinner and weaker. This is the part where the story starts dividing people completely. Some hear this and think, psychosis, adrenaline, delusion. Others hear it and think, possession. And maybe that's why this case still unsettles people decades later. Because neither explanation fully satisfies everyone. Eventually, Father Rodovic, an experienced exorcism specialist, examined Anneliese personally. He reportedly concluded she was possessed. But interestingly, he refused to perform the exorcism himself. which makes the story even eerier somehow. Like even experienced priests were frightened by what they saw. Then finally, the local bishop approved formal exorcism rites. Father Arnold Renz and Pastor Ernst Alt were assigned to perform them. And on September 24th, 1975, the first exorcism began. Imagine that room. Dim lighting. Religious paintings hanging on old walls. Cold air. Tape recorders running quietly in the background. Anneliese kneeling on the floor, surrounded by priests reading Latin prayers hour after hour. Then suddenly, her body jerking violently, growling, screaming, and voices answering back. Not one voice. Multiple. Different tones. Different personalities. At least according to the recordings. Father Renz recorded several sessions on tape. Even hearing those short clips today still feels deeply uncomfortable. The voices identified themselves as demons. Judas. Cain. Nero. Even Hitler. 6 demons total supposedly speaking through her body. One moment that especially disturbed the priests involved came when Anneliese described Valentin Fleischmann, a priest from the 1500s who had reportedly been excommunicated. According to the priests, there was no realistic way she should have known detailed information about him. That detail became one of the biggest arguments for believers, because people started asking, where did the knowledge come from? The exorcisms continued for 10 months, 67 sessions total, sometimes lasting 4 hours each. And meanwhile, Anneliese's condition deteriorated horribly. She stopped taking medication after claiming the drugs weakened her ability to resist the demons. That decision would later become one of the most controversial parts of the entire case. During the rituals, Anneliese repeatedly injured herself, slamming into walls, biting herself, destroying ligaments in her knees from constant kneeling. Eventually, her legs partially failed. Her parents sometimes had to physically restrain her to stop her from harming herself further. And honestly, whether this was mental illness or possession, the suffering was real. Then came the starvation. Anneliese began refusing food almost entirely. She reportedly believed that demons forbade her from eating. Week after week, her body became thinner, hollow cheeks, visible bones, sunken eyes. And yet, people still claimed she occasionally displayed terrifying bursts of strength, despite barely consuming anything. By June 1976, she weighed only around 34 kilograms. The final exorcism session happened on June 30th, 1976. This part hurts to imagine, because by then, she was barely alive. Weak breathing, high fever, body collapsing from dehydration. During the session, she reportedly whispered only a few words. Please, forgiveness. Then later, she told her mother quietly, I'm scared. The next morning, July 1st, 1976, her parents found her dead, 23 years old. The autopsy concluded she died from severe dehydration and malnutrition. And after that, the case exploded internationally. The courts blamed both priests and her parents for preventing medical intervention that might have saved her life. They received prison sentences with probation, and ever since then, People have argued endlessly over what truly happened to ANNELIESE MICHEL. Was it epilepsy? Psychosis? Religious delusion reinforced by exorcism rituals? Or something science genuinely cannot explain? Because believers point toward the recordings, the voices, the unexplained knowledge, the alleged strength, the blackened eyes. While skeptics point toward untreated mental illness, suggestion, religious obsession, and severe psychological deterioration. I don't think this story terrifies people because it proves possession exists. I think it terrifies people because nobody fully agrees where the line between illness and evil actually is. Somewhere in Germany tonight, the original exorcism tapes still exist. Real recordings, real voices, real suffering captured forever on magnetic tape. And whether those sounds came from demons or from a deeply sick young woman abandoned between religion and medicine, the result was still horrifyingly tragic. Sleep tight tonight, guys. I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.